Good morning everyone, and welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we discuss all things entrepreneurship and running. It's a fresh morning. It's about feels like -1, so pretty wintry conditions, but not too breezy, so not too bad. And it's a Sunday run day today, where we're discussing all things running. And today's topic is all about the Polar OH1 heart rate monitor. So as always, if you like this episode, please give it a like and a subscribe, and let's get started. So the Polar OH1 heart rate monitor, it's first and foremost, it is this black looking strap on my left forearm that you can see there. It's pretty inconspicuous, and what it is, it's a heart rate monitor, as the title obviously explains. But those of you that are used to heart rate training might be more familiar with the more traditional kind of chest strap heart rate monitor. And although they're extremely good at what they do, I've personally found them to be very restrictive, especially when you're doing a kind of a repetitive endurance event where breathing is so important. I find that restriction on my chest restrictive on my breathing, so not suitable for me to run long distance events with a chest strap. Some people might be fine with it. I just find it quite restrictive. So I think you can probably get some adjustments and things to heart rate straps, but either or, I just get this kind of claustrophobic, restrictive feeling when using them, hence the need to find an alternative solution, hence the OH1 heart rate monitor. Now this you'll generally put on your forearm or your bicep, and it's ideally you want the sensor to be somewhere that's pretty rigid, doesn't move, i.e. well, the problem you get with heart rate monitors predominantly is when they're being worn on a joint. So example, the watch one's a prime example. I have an Apple Watch 6 watch as well, and I run all my tech kind of through the watch. And the issue with the watch is that because it's on the wrist, and you can see my wrist is moving like so, it has an impact on the connection between the sensors in the watch and my heart rate. So you get these kind of inaccuracies when it's recording the data. You can see on my forearm there, it doesn't matter what I do, it stays pretty robust and rigid, so the reading is going to be far more accurate. So first and foremost, if you are serious about heart rate training, you do need a designated heart rate monitor. I just don't think the data is accurate enough with a wrist heart rate monitor, and I've tried and persevered numerous times. But to just give you an example, if you looked at somebody's Strava feed, I'm using Strava, the running app, as an example here, but if you look at people's activity, I can tell pretty much instantly whether that person's using a designated heart rate monitor or just using the data that comes from their watch. And what you'll see is when you look at their heart rate statistics, is their heart rate will be quite volatile, okay, on a wrist recorded heart rate monitor. So it's kind of quite aggressive on the graph, whereas in comparison you look at someone who's got a designated heart rate monitor, it'll be a really smooth graph. There'll be no volatility. Heart rate will go up nice and slow and steadily. If it spikes gradually and then comes down gradually, maybe quite aggressively, but smoothly on the curve. Whereas if you use a wrist strap, a wrist heart rate monitor, it'll be kind of jagged and fluctuating as it's struggling to keep connection at all times, so you get these little lags. So that's how you tell immediately. So is it uncomfortable? No, it's pretty inconspicuous. I've been using it for probably 2 or 3 years now, so it's not new. There's probably newer versions of it. I'm not affiliated with them, by the way. I'm just giving you my open and honest opinion on the product, but I think it's amazing. The downside, I suppose, is, well, firstly the price. It was about 70 quid, I think, when I bought it. I think you might be able to get them a little bit cheaper now, or there might be some newer versions out. But if you're serious about heart rate training, it's not even worth thinking about. It's amazing, kind of the way it kind of gives you that accuracy of data. It's also Bluetooth, so it can obviously syncs with multiple devices. Polar being kind of one of the market leaders in kind of heart rate monitoring technology, are really, really good, and they make it compatible with things like the Apple Watch 6 when you're running multiple different apps and pulling data from multiple different sources. So it kind of works, it's robust enough to kind of tackle that challenge. Nothing worse than going for a cheaper alternative and realising it doesn't have the software behind the hardware that can link in with your tech, your other running tech, which is the compatibility issue is always something that you need to research before you make a purchasing decision. So 70 quid, a negative of it is, well, some people wouldn't see it as a negative, but I do a little bit. 8 hours worth of charge. I don't even get that anymore because mine's 2 or 3 years. I probably get maybe 4 hours of charge if I have to recharge it. It's not the be all and end all, it only takes a short period of time to charge it again. But I would love to have it go for a month without charging. An example, my Stride power adapter that I wear on my foot, generally speaking, I can kind of run with that for a month before I have to recharge it every time, which is handy. It's just an inconvenience charging more frequently. So that would be a negative. Yeah, so hopefully that's kind of, I'm trying to think what else I can kind of tell you about. I would only buy one, not if you're just inquisitive. It's quite an investment unless you're serious about heart rate training. So if you're serious about heart rate training, and especially for endurance style athletes, where you want to kind of understand very accurately the threshold of your maximum aerobic function, which is the threshold at which you stop burning fat as energy supply and start burning carbs. If you're under that heart rate, you're burning fat, which is a far more efficient energy source, where you've got kind of 77,000 calories of energy supplies in your body stored in your fat cells, which is far more than you'd ever have in a carbohydrate stores, which is like your fuel tank. So the endurance athletes, the ones that do really well, get super efficient at burning fat as an energy source, and that's where heart rate becomes super important to ensure you're in that zone. So if you are an endurance athlete looking to improve your efficiency, then heart rate monitoring and a designated heart rate monitor, in my opinion, is essential. If you're not that into heart rate training, then there's no need really. But I think the science and the data behind heart rate is pretty profound. That even if you want to improve your kind of your short, sharp stuff and know your VO2 max and know your heart rate levels, is a really, really good way of measuring your performance now and tracking your improvement. So yeah, so I hope that's useful. That's my kind of synopsis or summary of the OH1 heart rate monitor. I would recommend, if you want to heart rate train, it's definitely worth considering. There are other ones out there, but I normally stick with the bigger names, just so you know you're kind of getting that kind of quality, element of what you're purchasing. And I think the OH1 delivers 100%. So that's pretty much it for me today. As always, if you've got any questions and stuff, drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger question, I'll still respond, but I'll do a separate blog episode and tag you in. If this is irrelevant to you, no drama, just unfollow, and it will stop cluttering up your social feeds. You don't have to unfriend, just unfollowing will be enough to stop you seeing the irrelevant information. But however, before you do go, please check out the Runpreneur YouTube channel, as I do a different topic on every day of the week. So just because today's topic may not be relevant to you, there may be other days that are super relevant, and it's all catalogued nice and neatly by playlist. So do check out the YouTube channel. Also check out the link in my bios, where I've got all my free resources that I'm hosting. The first one being my 70-step process to repurposing, reformatting and optimising your social media content across all platforms. So if you are looking to get more content out there in more different ways, unique to each platform, then check that checklist out and you'll see what I do every day on the vlog. So that's it really. All that's left to say is that the Runpreneur vlog was set up to help entrepreneurs and business owners overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise, or in my case running, as a kind of release mechanism to relieve those pressures before they build up and up and up and up and up. It can often be the difference between success and failure. Those entrepreneurs that have that release valve process the stresses and pressures that we all experience and get clarity, focus, take action on them, where the ones that don't have a release mechanism, the pressure builds and builds and builds and builds in the form of stress, which then evolves to overwhelm, which ultimately evolves to anxiety and mental health related challenges, which clearly we want to avoid. So now I've been there and struggled with this stuff to the extent that I've lost multiple businesses in the past. I've lost multiple business partners in the past, and I've almost been bankrupt in the past because of my inability to deal with these emotions. And it's only recently that I feel I really have got to grip with this, and by using exercise so much as part of my daily routine. And as a result, I've made more progress in the last 6 months than I have in the last 3 years. So you know, I've taken on more than I've ever taken on before. I feel completely in control. I don't feel overwhelmed or stressed, and my financial rewards are showing for it, which is really nice to say, because it hasn't always been that way. So my place to you is that if you are someone who's experiencing these challenges, then help is there. You don't really realise it is there, but drop me a message, okay? There's no catch here. I'm not going to sell you anything. All I want to do is jump on a call and give you a few hints and tips to try and get you back on the right path. As you know, I always said that if this vlog helps just one entrepreneur or saves one business, it's been 1,000,000% worthwhile. And so don't be stubborn, reach out. Many have already done so, and we've already put steps in place to help them. So don't be someone who asks when it's too late, because you don't do this right, often the entrepreneur or the business will break down, which can often be terminal to the likelihood of your business lasting a test of time. So please don't bury your head in sand, help is there. On that note, that's it from me today. As always, if you like this episode, give it a like, a comment and a subscribe. If you want to see similar content, check out the playlist link on the YouTube channel. And all that's left to say is stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.